that just means that, I mean, as long as they're staying within our guidelines,
I mean,
then they can change things as long as it's still within our subdivision, correct?
If they make significant changes, we'd have to bring it back to the commission.
Okay.
Minor tweaks, we could approve administratively. It's an insignificant note if you guys feel that it's
I'm okay with it. I just wanted
wishy-washy.
to clarify what you were actually.
Yeah, and it's kind of vague, but typically larger companies will have landscaping specifications. Basically, that's saying that, you know, if they go to put something in and you're planting it 1 inch above the ground, and Casey says you need to have it 2 inches, well, I mean,
Then they can do it.
yeah.
Okay.
As far as that type of changes, I don't know that it would really matter. It's not changing the site plan at all. If they were to get into moving and removing and
that's
changing a lot of the types and such, that's where we would have issue, because our zoning laws would caveat with Casey's
Okay.
Well,
specification.
I assume that the architect had Casey's landscape specs when you designed the site, right?
I could explain that note to you.
Oh, please.
That'd be great.
Unlike bricks and metals that would be in the building palette, the landscape palette is somewhat different and susceptible to seasonal changes in availability. And that is a very typical note from a professional design standpoint to be able to facilitate the installation. If one species is not available due to some disease or something like that, that usually gives you the latitude to be able to replace that with another acceptable species that be available at the time of installation. But I'm sure that will all be reviewed. But as planning has indicated to you, it's a matter of discretion necessary in the construction process. And it's not a significant matter and would be reviewed by the city officials upon completion and acceptance.
Okay, I understand. I just needed clarification on what I was actually talking about. All right. Thank you.
Other questions or discussion points?
I have one more question.
Wonderful.
It's, okay, it was said that the rating's an F in one direction during peak hours. Is it not an F in the other direction?
No.
It's not? So only turning left onto Moonlight going north that's the problem? Not turning left going onto Madison? That's not an F?
That's my understanding.
Okay. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, I entertain a motion for this item.
I make a motion that we approve the site plan for Casey's General Store located at the southwest corner of the intersection of East Madison Street and North Moonlight Road, subject to conditions 1 through 5.
Second?
I have a motion made by Barber, second by Weatherford, to approve the site plan for Casey's General Store located at the southwest corner of the intersection of East Madison Street and North Moonlight Road, subject to the following conditions, which you have staff report. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with all in favor to approve the site plan for Casey's General Store. Next item, site plan 14-01 Upward Market. Consider the site plan for Uproot Market located at 213 East Main Street, submitted by Chris Riley. Do we have a staff presentation?
Good evening, Commissioners. Travis Hulse, Planning Technician. Site Plan Application 14-01. As you will note, this is an existing site with the building predominantly surrounded by pavement for the use of parking and otherwise. Has served restaurants in the past, most recently as a coffee shop, and is located along Main Street Highway 56, just southeast, that is, of Main Street and Elm Street intersection. It is currently surrounded by, and is included as a zoning designation as C1, which is our central business district zoning designation. You will notice in this photo and also in some that I'll show you here in a moment that there's a variety of different land uses surrounding this site, although they are still in the same zoning designation. Property to the north, you'll have a variety of office uses and retail spaces, automotive service area. I'd like you to pay particular note in the property to the north, as well as property to the west, some of the architectural features that are established in the downtown area. That'll be an important element of the site as we get into that a little bit more. And here to the west, you have more of the restaurant and as well retail uses. To the south, although it's a commercial zoning designation, these are single-family homes, single-family residences that are occupied and used as such. And to the east, some more of the same office use. That home that is located there is actually listed for a commercial office as well, so it is not being occupied as a residence. Getting into the site plan that has been provided by the applicant, I wanted to point out a number of improvements that you will note the applicant is proposing to make at this site. First, starting with a number of fences acting as both screening and barriers for the site. The portion along the southern edge of the property is actually going to be more of a privacy fence. The applicant has provided that as a means to helping to protect the residences to the south from any of the headlights or potential noise coming from the site. Whereas the other portions of the fence shown there in red around the outdoor display area will actually be a split rail type fence is being proposed by the applicant. There are certain site constraints for improvements to be made landscaping-wise. The applicant has proposed to provide planters to meet and to comply with the landscaping requirements. He will be providing 7 planters that will not necessarily be permanently anchored into the ground. They're going to house a variety of evergreen species of trees, as well as some perennial flowers and annuals. So that will mean that it will be up to the applicant to make sure that everything is properly maintained and kept not only year to year, but as things continue to grow, so that it doesn't outgrow the planter boxes, and has made the commitment to do that for all of those at the site. With the existing building on site, there is a proposed additions